Check. Let's see. Does this crap still work? Does this thing work? It's never worked before in the history of working. So I don't know. I had to get up and blow everything off, blow the dust off everything because we missed last week, 2 weeks in the hole. Lots of pent-up aggression and anger. I'm starting it off without even doing the promos because I'm so pissed because of everything. Everything. But welcome to Regalwood Rasslin. This is episode 13, finally airing live. It is the 19th day of June in the year of our Lord. Beautiful June afternoon. I'm sitting high atop Regal Towers, looking out over the peons below, and we are now live right now on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. Tons of platforms for you to not watch on. But here we are. I'm your humble host, the most humble man on the planet, the overlord of the wasteland, the engineer of combat, the big boss with the hot sauce, and the star of this and every show that I appear on, Richard James Regal. Welcome. I appreciate those of you who are here. I guess everything's working. Looks like it is. Had to take a little break last week. Some unexpected chicanery came up around Regalville, so we put off the last week's show and didn't want to do a half-assed. Well, a more half-assed than usual broadcast. So welcome in. This is episode 13. Had some things been going. I will tell you, just as a matter of fact, before we get going here today, that I don't have a lot of any news I have this week. I'm going to do a little news. I always like to start with a little news, but any news I have will be from last week because, quite frankly, in my real life, this week has been tumultuous to say the least. Not in a bad way. Just a lot going on this past week, and I have not had time to research any news in wrestling. Haven't had anything come across my feeds that would catch my attention. So the few items that I have will be a little older, but it won't matter because as always I put my amazing spin and my tweak on everything that I touch. But Thomas Simpson's here with us today. Thomas has been stewing for a better part of a month now. Let me see. Better part of a month, Thomas has been stewing about different things. And we were going to have him on 3 weeks ago, and he wasn't able to make it. And then the following week, something came up, and then he couldn't make it that week. And then, anyway, so he's had time to stew on that. I've had time to stew on the last 2 weeks. With everything going on. So this should be, by all accounts, a one for the record books. But we're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to all of that here directly. If you're, hey, Scotty, I appreciate it. Listen, I have a lot of taglines. We know that, right? As far as who I am and what I present to the universe. Now, I'm trying to figure out a way I can add the most technically goofy show. It's a work in progress. Technically challenged would probably be the right word. But I will tell you, and I know you're not going to believe me because I am humble. I am a humble man, and I'm contemplative and reflective. We all know how contemplative and reflective a human being Ricky Regal is. But I will tell you, a lot of those problems aren't my fault. Now, I know you've heard me say things aren't my fault in the past. But some of this really ain't my fault. I have things that work with other things here. And I've told you before, this is all behind the scenes, behind baseball stuff. But I got 3 monitors going here. I got 4 apps. I got my streaming service. And I have some other things going in front of me here. And a lot of times that stuff don't get along. You know how sometimes like us wrestlers don't always get along with each other? Well, these freaking systems and programs, they don't always get along either. But I have done everything I can do to in my power at least to put away some of the problems. But we're going to have technical difficulties. That's the nature of the beast. Again, never said, and will never say, I'm a professional broadcaster. Now, I'm a lot of things. We all know that. I'm a lot of things, most of them true. But a professional broadcaster is not one of them. Even though I had a real honest-to-God radio program back in the day that I love to brag about, that actually was over the air, WLBG radio. Most of you know about it, or some of you do. And so even though I had a real radio show, we walked in that place and we recorded our show and walked out. All the other radio stuff was outside of our purview. So having been in radio, I never learned radio, which, as I learned while I was in radio, is probably the case for most people who are in radio. Certainly most of the case for people who are doing podcasts from some of the stuff I see out there. But be that as it is, welcome to the show. Technically inefficient, highly angry. Yeah, that's sufficient. That fits. That definitely fits. But yeah, I do welcome everybody who is here now and who will join us in the future. Real quick before we get into a little bit of news. Well, news. The YouTube channel, of course, youtube.com/WrestleRadio860. WRESTLERADIO 860 on YouTube. Kind of the hub of all things Regal. That's where everything Regal resides. If you want to know anything about our past, present, and in some cases the future, it all sits right there on that YouTube channel. Lots of interviews from the past, from the WLBG show on there. Boogie Woogie Valiant, Road Warrior Animal, that was probably my favorite. He was sick the day that we talked. I just got off a plane, I think, if I recall correctly. Remember, this is 10 plus years ago. 10 way plus years ago. I don't remember the date on the interview, but it's up there. And he was sick that day, and we were supposed to going to do a two-parter. We only ended up doing one part. But Animal was great. Really, really, really honest in his interview. And I can probably replay some of those here. And I've been thinking about that. I know I'm all over the place. Again, not a professional broadcaster. We know that. But I have been sort of thinking, and I know I bitched to you all last time we were on about not being able to get a hold of guests. And that was what ended the WLBG show. And I don't want to rehash the whole story. If you missed the last time we were on 2 weeks ago, I think, maybe during the AMA, I spoke about why the WLBG show ended. So if you want the whole story, it's there. But long and short of it was that I couldn't get guests. Wrestlers are notorious for having funky schedules, and I know that, and I get it. But that's why that show ended. It became even though we were an honest to God radio station, WLBG, you can look it up. It exists, or existed. It's shut down since. But I did all the production, and I had a co-host. Some of you know Charlie Lane, former promoter of SCW. Well, promoter of SCW. Bad Regal. Anyway, so we had a co-host, and it was kind of the same setup. I would do news, we would do news, and then we would do an interview, and then we would close the show with stuff. But it was radio, it wasn't video, so I didn't have as much media then. But anyway, couldn't get guests. Just couldn't get guests, and I would book guests, and they would be like, "Yeah, I'm on," and we would do. Of course, all that was recorded. This, of course, live. But then it became a problem to get them a date and a time for recordings, because radio stations, that wasn't a 24-hour radio. It wasn't staffed 24 hours, so I couldn't just go in any time and do the damn interviews. But that's why that show shut down. But on the back end of that, and the good part of that is I was able to secure tons of interviews. Now, of course, it was audio, so there will be no video element to it. But I'm thinking about in the future, if this thing continues, and I will tell you that's still a question. I don't know how. I don't know how we're going to continue. We're working on that. That's for another time. But if this show continues, I may have to replace some of those old interviews, and I think they're interesting. There's a point in time in history, right? And it was what was going on at the time, and some of my questions will be relevant to the time period that were done, but we'll see. It's all, again, it's all a work in progress, or a tragedy in progress, if you will. All right, that's enough housekeeping. Oh, let me finish this. Twitch is Regalwood6969. Facebook, of course, Ricky Regal, RIKKIREGAL. Rumble and Kick are Regalwood. If you see him, let's see that. That's a good boy. That's a good. If you see him, the big bulldog, who is actually, this is actually taken from a photorealistic copy of me back in a few years ago. And if you see most of the definition, of course, the championship, all of that, if you see him, then you're in the right by God place. Regalwood Rasslin for your previewing pleasure on all those outstanding platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook, and good old Kick. I know that some of these programs, they go out live on Facebook on the Regalwood Rasslin page. And if you haven't subscribed to that, if you're in any of the platforms and you haven't subscribed to the Regalwood Rasslin page on Facebook, do that. It's linked from my account, the Ricky Regal account, and that's where all the updates and stuff kind of sit right there. But those videos go away after a while. But they're always going to be on YouTube. They're always going to sit right there on the YouTube channel. So if you miss one, or if you want to go back and watch one again, which why wouldn't you? I mean, how could this level of entertainment, and for free, you don't, let me tell you something. All of you watching right now, you don't deserve this level of entertainment that I give you. You don't deserve it. You've done nothing in your life to deserve the level of entertainment that I bring you. And I stand on that. I stand on it. For free. Again, it's been 2 weeks. You deal with it. But no, it all seriously though, it all sits right there on the Regalwood on the YouTube channel in perpetuity, or until they run me off of the internet, which it could happen at any moment. All right, enough of my blibber blabber. Let's go into a little bit of news. Again, this is old news. This is from last week. Last week, on the day we were supposed to run the show, which I think was last Thursday, was Magnum TA's birthday. And everybody was wishing Maggie May a nice birthday, and he was very gracious in his acceptance. But I thought it was funny that Tully actually wished him a happy birthday and reminded Maggie May, Maggie TA, that he never quit. And I think that, look, I think that's awesome. I think that is awesome, because you say what you will about Tully, and I will tell you, by the way, saying what you will about Tully Blanchard, we all know he was great. But I think sometimes we forget how great he was. Go and watch some of his promos. Just, brother, it was so just, and that's why I love the NWA. And of course, I grew up in the South. I didn't know a lot about the WWF back then. I knew it was I knew of it, of course, but we didn't get it here that much. And we was all, this was a Southern Belt, and of course we was all into the NWA. But man, Tully was so good, and his promos were so good, and his ring work was so good. And if you've missed, go watch some of that stuff. But to keep that thing alive this long, and we got to be 30 plus years since the I Quit match. And it's still being talked about to this day. And then my most ridiculous item of the day, which you'll see at the end of and it is to this, if for no other reason, and if you don't want to hear any more of my nonsense, you need to come back at the end of the show and watch today's most ridiculous item, because it is the most ridiculous one yet. And we've seen some crazy junk here on Regalwood Rasslin, right? In our past 12 episodes. But 13 takes the cake. Today is one of the most ridiculous. It's a minute and a half, but it feels like it goes on for an eternity. But it's the usual nonsense that I've been showing you as it goes with the most ridiculous. But the guys that are doing the things today will never be talked about past this show, probably, right? Past when I present it to you as what it is. But that thing that they did, Tully and Magnum TA, is still being talked about to this day. And I will tell you, by no means. Well, we're all marks. All of us. I don't care how long you've been in the business. I don't care how deep in the business you are. Triple H is a mark. Right? We're all marks. But I still, to this day, I still believe that goddamn chairpiece went into freaking Tully's head. You're never gonna make me believe that didn't really happen. I don't care who you are. It's still real to me, man. It's still real to me. That thing was so well done. It was so well done. And if you go back and watch it, if you haven't seen it, shame on you. Don't call yourself a wrestling fan. Scotty Wentz says Tully could get heat guaranteed. Great tag team wrestler. Yes, great. But he was also good at singles. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Scotty. A lot of his single stuff was just as good. And I think if the Horsemen hadn't have happened, which thank God it did, it changed wrestling as far as I'm concerned. But if the Horsemen hadn't happened, I think Tully would have had a singles career that would have surpassed anything he did. Now, he and Arn, unbelievable. I've talked about it before here on the show. In their WWF time, their timing was so sharp that it almost looked unbelievable because it was just so good. But anyway, I know I go all over the place. Again, not professional. But that damn I Quit match, to this day, the drama is still there and it still lives. And even though we know about all we know today about wrestling, right? We all know everything because God forbid anybody has a secret, right? Even though we live in the post-kayfabe world, that damn match, and in that era, that entire era still lives and will forever live as far as I'm concerned, because it'll never be, nothing will ever match that. Nothing will ever top it. But I bring all that to full circle into today, but I like to live in the past. But I bring that to full circle today, and when I show you the most ridiculous item of the week, you'll understand how they're doing some of the things that they're doing in today's thing to try to gain some level of infamy. And I understand that. Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants their 15 minutes, right? But the stupid stuff you're doing means absolutely nothing, and nobody will be talking about it in 30 plus years. Because you know why? And I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm not Brody. I'm gonna tell you the secrets. Brody wants to keep the secrets. Brody's like, I don't want to tell everything. I want to hold on to some things, and I respect the hell out of him for that. But I'll tell you the secret to this one, and the secret to this one is because you don't have that connection. You have not. No matter what you've done, no matter what you will do, if you're not making that connection with those fans the way that Flair did, that Tully did, that Arn did, by talking to that camera and saying from your heart, not saying some scripted nonsense to pop the boys in the back, which, by the way, is ignorant. If you're working to pop the boys in the back, then you're another one who don't belong. And I know I'll get heat, but wrestling's for everybody. And the whole wrestling's for everybody. Where's the hashtag? Wrestling's for everybody. But some of you people, if you're not making that connection, nobody's going to be talking to you 10 minutes from now, 10 weeks from now, and God forbid 10 years from now. And we're still talking about the Tully thing. He brought it up, and instantly everybody knows what he's talking about when he said that one line on Magnum's birthday post. I still didn't quit. Fantastic. Just fantastic. Cruiser Lewis says he's seen some terrible I Quit matches over the year. Yeah. I was involved in one. Is that the one you're talking about? Cruiser, you're a smart ass. And by the way, I'm glad you're better. I'm glad you're out of the hospital. I'm glad, thank God you're still with us. But you're a smart ass. You know that. I know the terrible I Quit. I know that's a shot at me. I know it is. I'm looking at it. That's why I'm pointing this way. It's in my chat over here. Cruisers. I mean, you know what? I'm coming out of it. Book it. Thomas, when we get Thomas in, when he does his show in 2027, I want Cruiser Lewis in a loser leaves the business match. Right now, June 19th, 2026, I demand a loser leaves the business match with Cruiser Lewis, and I want it at the next Omega or whatever banner you're going to run it on. We'll get Thomas in a few minutes. We're going to book. I'll sign the. I want to have a signing like they do on TV. I want to sit down at the desk and do the whole. Yeah, you. This guy, smart. He's a smart guy, is what he's trying to be. He's trying to be a smart guy. And he knows I've had 2 weeks off, and I'm not in that mood today. Book it. I want it done. Scotty says, wrestling is for everyone to watch, but not everyone should be about that. That is a good tagline, man. I wish I had come up with that, and I probably will steal it from you. Don't sue me. You haven't trademarked it yet, so it's mine. I'm taking it. But wrestling is for everyone to watch. Agreed. But not everybody should be involved in it. Not at that level. For God's sakes. Why do I still have to say this? It's just you know, for somebody who claims they don't give a damn about this business anymore, be me. Stuff like that just annoys the piss out of me. I feel like I'm an island unto myself sometimes. Cruiser's smart mouth says it'll be a walker on a pole. Yeah, you're the one in traction though, brother. So I think I got a chance. You're the one you just got out of traction. So keep talking. I know you. See, I know your weaknesses. You don't know mine. All my weaknesses are right here. All yours are you. I got you. Book it. Walker on a pole match. Who's gonna climb the pole? I ain't climbing no poles. I'll be lucky to make it to the ring. Much less get in it. This guy? Got a smart mouth is what he's got. All right. What do we need to do here? Oh, okay. So one news item, and I'm already sidetracked. I told y'all this was going to be a big day. Wanda says today is Wahoo McDaniel's. Says Wahoo McDaniel's birthday is today. Jenny Booth, I don't know who you are. I appreciate you joining me. She says, have I watched King of Wrestling in Tennessee? If that's King what I watched last week on my most ridiculous item of the week, I hope it's not. And I don't know that it is, Jenny, but if you go back to my 2 weeks ago show, it was King something. I thought my people in here will remember that one from 2 weeks ago. She says she's sorry she's new to the podcast. Did I used to wrestle? Yeah, no, yeah, something like that. Did I used to wrestle? Used is a word that can mean a lot of things. But yeah, I used to try. Let's put it that way. I used to try to wrestle. But that's been a long time ago, Jenny. But thank you for finding us. Appreciate you for joining us, and I hope you get something out of this fantastic broadcast. But yeah, Wanda says that today's Wahoo's birthday. So big ups to the chief, and big ups. God bless, rest in power, Wahoo. I want to go off topic just for a second. I want to go off topic. Steve Carlton, welcome to the show. Good to see you. SWAT, my man SWAT. You know what, Steve? I want you on the show one day because I want you and I to tell those stories of what the whole SWAT thing, and the big match we had in Greenwood, South Carolina, where some pants may have been split. I think that would be an entertaining. I think that would be a very entertaining show. So, Steve, you and I'll talk later. I'd like to have you. I'd like to get you on and we can discuss some of those old. People seem to like my old stories, and I think that would be super interesting to tell. I still laugh about that stupid ass show. And Jim Lewis almost lost his mind. Great times, man. That's the stuff I look back on in fondness. And I know nobody will be talking about me in 10 years either. Believe me, I know that. But I remember those old stories, and they still, to this day, they still make me laugh. So, Steve, we'll talk, and we'll get you booked on the show. I'd love to have you. Jenny Booth says she loves wrestling podcasts, especially old stories. Well, honey, you come to the right place. I got scolded by Jimmy Mitchell, Father James Mitchell of TNA fame, Impact Wrestling fame, the ECW fame, WCW fame, Father James Mitchell was on a few weeks ago, and he scolded me for staying in the past too long. He was like, "Look, we've been going 30 minutes, and we ain't even got it past the 90s yet," which I thought was pretty funny because I live in that decade. The 80s and the 90s, man. That's when Regal was Regal, and this is what I've become. An angry old man screaming at a camera. I'm shaking my fists at the heavens. Whatever. Where was I? See, I lose track because you people y'all get me going, and then I have to figure it. Bring it back. I have to be a professional and bring it back. Changing topics just for a second, and this is not a music show. I love my music. Those of you who know me really well know I'm a monster Prince fan. I have tons of Prince music that you've never heard before. That if I could do a music show, I could do a full, as many hours as you'd like, music show. But of course I can't get dinged by playing music on here. But anyway, this is not a music show. It's not about that. Jenny says I'm on YouTube. Yes, it's called Wrestle Radio 860 WR. Matter of fact, let me type it in the comments. Hang on. Well, y'all know I can't do more than one thing at a time. So let me type this address in for this our new fan, Jenny Booth. I'm sorry. DUBE.com/ All right, there in the chat. That's the YouTube channel. There's some matches up there. There's old shows. There's all kinds of stuff right there on the YouTube channel. That's in the Facebook chat for those of you who are following along. That's not in the. If you're on the YouTube chat, you're already on the damn page. So what is wrong with me? Anyway, so there it is. You can go find out all things Regal Jenny right there on the good old Regalwood Rasslin YouTube channel. Lots of old shows on there. Lots of stuff about me, which is what we're all here for, right? Of course. This is not a music show, not about music, but I did want to something that hit me that Rush has returned. You know, we lost Neil Peart what's it been, over a year or so ago now, from Rush, drummer. Amazing. Lost him. But Rush has regrouped, reformed, and they've got a new drummer. Her name's Annika Niles. Annika. All I'm going to tell you is go, and they just went back on the road last week, and their first show was out there. And a lot of people were like, she'll never meet up to Neil's level. She'll never meet. Go and find it. It's out there. I can't play it for you because, again, I'll get dinged, and I don't want to get dinged. But go and look up her solo. There's some people has even sectioned it off where you can just watch her part. But if you like that song, watch the whole thing. But anyway, her drum part's in there, and it's fantastic. And the pop she gets for nailing that from the crowd, it's like welcome to the family. So I thought that was kind of cool. I know it's not wrestling related. I'm sorry, but again, it's my show. I do what the hell I want. Again, 2 weeks, don't start. But this does have a wrestling kind of theme because, of course, Tom Sawyer is Kerry Von Erich's theme song. So I wrapped it back in a nice little bow for you people who don't like it when I get off topic. Y'all don't stop with me. I wrote a column. It's up on the Facebook page, up on the Regalwood Rasslin page. It's called The Metro, if you haven't read it. And our new fan, Jenny, if you like old stories and you like to read because it's long, go over to the Regalwood Rasslin page and look up The Metro. You have to scroll down a little bit, but it's there. Read The Metro. If you haven't read it yet, it's a great story, and I think you'll enjoy it, even though I wrote it. And I do say so myself. My genius is unmatched when it comes to relating old stories. All right. Another couple of things that happened. Trevor Murdoch's retired from the NWA, and I will tell you, and I don't mean this as any kind of disrespect, he's here. Wanda, calm down. Look, Wanda all went in the chat. Where's Thomas Simpson? Where's Thomas Simpson? He's here. Calm down. I got this. I got it. I'm on it. If you already sick of hearing me talk, see how I get treated? I get disrespected in my own show. I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield of podcasters. Where's Thomas? He'll be here in a minute. For God's sakes. Wanda's impatient, apparently. She wants to get right to Thomas. We'll get there. I'm letting him stew a little more. See, you threw me off where I was. Oh, Trevor Murdoch retired from the NWA, the recent Crockett Cup. I think that was a couple of weeks ago also. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I'm not, with no disrespect to Trevor, I didn't know he was still wrestling. Again, that's probably my bad because I don't follow. Thank you, Scotty. It's a slow burn. Let Neil Koloff. All you people want to be smartasses. You know what? Make it a tag team match. I want Koloffs and Cruiser against me and a mystery partner. I'm tired of this. I'm not going to take it. I'm standing up. Thomas, I hope you got your pencil. Wonder Pencil. That's what, don't they call you? They still call you that? Let me see if I can get him to. They still call you. All right, he says yes. They still call him the Wonder Pencil. He's got it in his hand. I want a tag match. Me and my mystery partner against Cruiser and that smart-ass Neil Koloff. I want it. 2027. Make it happen. Make it happen. Y'all are not going to come in my show and talk to me any old kind of way. By God. Again, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to be professional. You people keep throwing me. Bro, Scotty, you're an idea man. I like you. I like that Scotty Wentz. He's an idea man, and he's got a good one. He says, time to call Brody. What more needs to be said? That's a good idea. I like it. Tired of this. I'm tired of it. Coming on my show talking to me any old kind of way. All right. Trevor Murdoch retires again for the third time 2 weeks ago. Again, no disrespect to Trevor. I thought he was a great character, but I didn't know he was still wrestling. But God bless. Enjoy your retirement and your future. What? You got it. Endeavors. And I want credit where it's due. This will be my last news update for this week, my last news item for this week. And I will give credit where it's due. And I'm sure Thomas will have something to say about this. But credit where it's due. The AWL had a successful Norton Lewis event. I guess that was 2 weeks ago also. Drew over 500. Credit where it's due. Look, I promoted shows. I know how difficult it is to put together an event. I know how difficult it is worrying about that event and making sure that it's what it should be for everybody. So credit where it's due. They drew over 500 in their Cruiser and their Norton Lewis Memorial show. So, hey, what can you say? I'm again. Not my show, so I don't have to. It's not my problem, or not my purview. Let me say, scared to work singles. Yeah, that's what it is. No, because I would do a singles. I'll be Johnny Dollar. I'll work twice. It don't matter to me. I'll work. See, Cruz is starting me up again. I'll work twice. I'll be Johnny Dollar. I'll come out with the mask, and then I'll go do the tag against you and that smart mouth. What's his name? Neil Koloff. Don't start with me. Don't do it. I'll work every match. Put me in give me gimmicks. I may need to borrow somebody's boots, but hey. It ain't the boots that make the man, it's the man that makes the boots. All right? You remember that. That's Scotty Wentz. You like to say things. You take that one about the boots thing I just said. It was genius. You guys got me wound up. I'm gonna have to take a break because I can't be talked to this way. But anyway, credit where it's due. AML successfully drew over 500, and God bless. They did work hard on that show. May not agree with some of the way they carry on and the way they talk to people, but it is what it is. God bless all the fans that showed up for that. All right, that's my last news item for today. Gonna take a short break so I can go and take I'm old. And they got me all jazzed up in the chats today, so I'm going to have to go take a blood pressure pill. Jenny Booth says she remembers Cruiser Lewis from HWA. Have I had him on the show? He won't come on the show. He'll get in the chats and run his mouth, Jenny Booth. But he won't come on the show because he knows he can't match wits with the brainiac that is Ricky Regal. My big brain, he can't compete with that. No, very few can, by the way. But he's been invited. So he wants to sit in the chat and blah, 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 blah. You people have got me. Well, I'm going to take my blood pressure pill, fill up my cup, take a short break. We'll come back. We'll get Thomas Simpson on the show and see what he's got to say about all this nonsense that these people are exposing me to today on my very own program. This is Regalwood Rasslin, episode 13. If you missed any of the last 12, go click on that YouTube link. They all sit right there on the YouTube channel under the live shows. They're all there for you and your posterity in time and in memoriam. Be right back. We'll continue this nonsense in just after the quick break here on Regalwood Rasslin, episode 13. Stand by. All right, back here on the Regalwood Rasslin, episode 13. We're live today on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. YouTube, of course, Regalwood's Wrestle Radio 860. Wait, is that right? No. Yeah, Wrestle Radio 860 on YouTube. Got too many links over here. Twitch is Regalwood 6969. Facebook, of course, Ricky Regal. R-I-K-K-I. Rumble and Kick are Regalwood, respectively. Again, you find this guy right here, you found the right place. All right, I took my medications. I'm calm. I'm calmo. I'm not going to have it. Not going to come in here. You're not going to come in here and get me riled up. I'm a very classy individual. And by all words out there about me, I'm very calm in demeanor. So you're not going to come in here on my own show and get me riled up. And I'm talking to you, Cruiser Lewis. And that smart mouth Neil Koloff, wherever he went, he pops in and pops out, I guess. I don't know what his deal is. But anyway, without further ado, the founder of Omega, one of the most controversial people that I've ever had on the show. Check that. I do have a little bit more of I do have one thing I got to do because, again, it wouldn't be a show without technical difficulties. So let me get him added in here real quick. That's my bad. That's on me. Actually, I blame Cruiser because should have already had this done. But Cruiser come here running his mouth and got me all sidetracked. So let me do this. Give me a second. Everybody just calm down. All right? Everybody just calm the F down. Can we do that? Getting him in here. It'll take me 2 seconds. Y'all just shut up. Want to about to have a heart attack. Want to know where Thomas is. I don't know what's wrong with you people today, but you're gonna straighten up. If you come in my house, you're gonna be respectful. That's just it. That's all there is to it. All right, I think I got it here. Let me make sure. There we go to this. We're going over there. We're going over there. Over there. Ah, there he is. All right. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to get somebody here. You're going to have to be my tag team partner today because these people act like they can come here and act in any old kind of way, Thomas, and I've had it with them. Welcome to the program, the one and only Thomas Simpson. Thomas.
Hey, man. What's up?
Well, I hope you've caught this nonsense they've been subjecting me to today, and I don't know who they think they are, but
heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Very well said. I appreciate that, and I knew that if there was anybody who understood it, it would be you. What you been up to for the last 13 or so weeks since I've had you? Thomas was for those of you who don't know, Thomas was my first guest here. One of the first guests I had on the original one of the original LBG shows, and so he's back today to talk to us some more. What you been up to for the last 13-ish or so weeks?
Well, I've been, of course, working. Summer school has started at my institution of higher education that I work at, and also I've been going to see some concerts. As a matter of fact, I've been to KC and the Sunshine Band, which was fabulous. And tomorrow I'm headed up to Charlotte to go see Human League, Alison Poirier, and Soft Cell. And then next week I go back to Charlotte for another concert, Pablo Cruz, Orleans, and Atlanta Rhythm Section. I'm doing the Old Farts tour.
That's all right. You had gone to a Divas show too recently. Did you see Shaka Khan?
My sister and I, we went to the Queens of Soul. It was Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills, and Gladys Knight.
Wow.
And Gladys Knight was not that good.
Really? Well, she's 90, right?
Well, no, she's 82,
okay.
3. She's my mom's age.
I got you.
But she couldn't remember her lyrics and stuff, and she was really frail.
Is that
but
right?
it was a good concert. But that's my 2 here in the next couple of weeks, and I think I got more later on in like July and stuff. I'm doing, like my sister and I said that I'm going to concerts now like she used to, and she said back in the 90s, she said, "What were you doing back in the 90s?" I said, "Well, I was running wrestling shows." Duh.
Yeah, right.
In the 90s and 2000s, I was running wrestling shows all over the Southeast. What do you think I was doing?
Was a little bit busy back there in that decade. Missy Childers is in the chat.
A little bit.
Missy Childers is in the chat. She says, "Hey Thomas, she hopes you're well."
Hey Nick, thanks.
Before we move on from your concert series, there, how was Human League? I mean, they used to be. Did they do that?
That's
song?
Tomorrow.
Oh, you haven't seen Human League yet? Okay, all right.
Yeah. That's tomorrow.
They were pretty good in the 80s. I mean, they had that hit song.
I loved it.
Yeah, I like that song "Human." That was one of those Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, kind of a Prince relationship there that they did. I thought they always liked that. I didn't think they were. Somebody said they weren't doing that song in concert for some reason, which would be weird.
I don't know, but I'll be. Shaka Khan did not do "I Feel for You," and I was very disappointed.
Oh wow, well that's unusual because that was one of her bigger hits, especially in the 80s.
And it was her biggest hit on the pop chart. So I don't know why, but because I looked up the set list from other concerts.
Yeah.
And she does it in her solo shows.
Wow.
But
maybe cut it for time, but still though, you would think with it being a hit, that's what people would.
It's just like I went to see Culture Club earlier this year, and they didn't play "Move Away" or "The War Song," 2 of my favorite songs, and they played other things, and I was like, I didn't come to see this. I mean, there were a couple of Bob Dylan. I went to see Bob Dylan a few months ago, There were a couple songs I wish he'd have played, but I mean, it's Bob Dylan. He's only got like 70 years of songs to play.
Right. He's got a.
Whereas, like, I went to see Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's when I saw Howard Jones. They played everything, and same thing with Chicago. All the big hits and stuff. They played absolutely everything. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Well, I guess we can do a Regalwood music sometime in the future, because I had a little music in my opening tirade there, and now we're talking about it. But it's
I heard that. Yeah.
Did you see the Rush thing? Are you a fan of Rush?
As a matter of fact, I have tickets for one of the Rush concerts in Charlotte.
Oh wow! Now that's what I want to hear about, because
they're doing 2 dates in. Can't remember, it's either October or November in Charlotte. Because when I was at the concert at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, they had it up on the billboard thing, the flashes in the arena. Yeah. And so as a matter of fact, just this afternoon before we came on, I bought my Rush tickets.
That's awesome. Well, they are they're doing a lot of songs that they haven't done in the past. They're opening with Xanadu, which everybody was shocked by. And then doing some of the hits, sprinkled in with some of the longer, more experimental stuff. So it's cool, and it's good to see them back out there. And I will tell you, and again, we're gonna get off the music. I know people are gonna get mad, but Geddy Lee sounds great. I mean, he sounds good.
I've tried not to hear anything, but with Rush, as long as they sing Tom Sawyer, I'm okay.
100% will, because that's what kind of brings the new drummer in when she hits that middle little break there, and everybody goes wild. But good stuff. I can't wait to hear your show review on that. But let's talk a little wrestling. You've been upset lately. You've got a lot going on. Go ahead, get it out. Oh, and before Thomas starts,
are you talking about the show in Andyville?
Hold on.
What you're saying?
Hold on. Before Thomas starts, the opinions of Thomas Simpson are those of Thomas Simpson only. They are his opinions and his alone. We just give him a platform, just like we do everybody else, to come on and give those opinions. So, but having said all that, yes, Thomas, please.
Talking about the Andyville show, right?
You just told me you had some stuff on your chest, and I'm here to let you get it off.
Oh well, Hoss. You had Hoss Haygood on here.
I did.
I believe it's the week after me.
Yeah,
or a few weeks after me.
A couple weeks after. Yeah.
And he is going to, and so I just go ahead and tell you. So I had planned on running a show in Abbeville on July the 24th.
Okay.
And I was going to help raise money for the youth athletics there at the Abbeville Civic Center. And I had put in my date for that date back when those crazy people, Octavius and that crew from Greenville that runs over here in Greenwood at the jiu-jitsu place outside. Okay, the Outlaw Mud Show Goose.
Oh God!
So I had right after they didn't run Abbeville, I put in to run my show there, right?
Okay.
And so the director of the Civic Center in Abbeville, I was in Abbeville, and I called him. I said, and who just happens to be a family member, and I said, well, I'm going to come by and let's finalize all the stuff, sign the papers and everything for my show in July, right?
Yep.
So he said, good, because I want to talk to you about it. So I come be bopping over to up there to the Civic Center, and so he's like, hey, I got something to run by you. I said, okay. He said, well, Hoss Haygood, or as I'm going to call him, Andy talked to one of the city council members at the Spring Festival and wants to do a wrestling show to raise money for the Pete Smith ball field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and he said, so, and I said, well, what day? And he said, it would be on August the 2nd.
Okay.
And, well, my show's the week before that. Well, I want you to move your show, or either y'all get together and you work with it. I'm like, now this is somebody I have not talked to in 10 years.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I have not talked to him in 10 years because we had a falling out over him after when I ran those what was that stuff? What was that? Wrestle. I ran some shows in Abbeville. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah.
It wasn't Wrestle whatever that I ran in 2015 and did fantastically. You were at the first one that was a huge crowd, right?
Yes. Yes.
People talk about drawing 500 people. Well, I did it in January, right? I mean, it's no big deal. So I'm like, well, and he doesn't even live in South Carolina anymore. He lives in Maryland. You know, he's got family, got a kid up there. He's got his daughter's had a baby, and so they're all living now. I'm like, what the hell is he want to do? Well, of course, I'm like, but I kind of know who's the culprit behind all of this. Well, it's Bob Keller, of course, right? And I'm like, okay. And he said, so I don't even have his number. I said, he wants you to call him. I said, I don't even have his number. And besides, you want me to change my date, your ass is going to call me.
Mm.
Okay? Just out of sheer respect.
Okay.
You are going to call me and talk to me, right? So I told my cousin, I said, give him my number or tell him to get up with me on Facebook, right?
Okay.
And so I had to go run over to Georgia for some stuff. And I was waiting on the calls and waiting on everything else. So I didn't hear nothing back. I'm like, all right, I see how it's going to be. So I just called my cousin up. That was Friday. I talked to some people. I think I talked to you. I talked to Cruz. I talked to a few other people about what to do. And I said, well, I'm just not going to run my show. Okay. But now let's get to the truth of the matter.
Oh.
So about the people on the show.
Okay.
Well, and so I was actually, I just I was going to just run my show anyway. And so I talked to a few people that I had already booked on the show. And it's like, well, who usually worked for Bob for his wrestle force.
Mm-hmm.
Ultra Wrestle was what my thing was in 2015.
That's right.
But this was going to be a full-on Omega show.
Oh, wow.
Omega Pro Wrestling show. And so I talked to Chase Emery, and I said, so are you going to work both my show and Bob's show? Yes. I said, okay. You're going to work my show and Bob's show too. That is disrespectful. I'm not. I mean, it's one thing if I don't have, so like, he's booked other people to show stuff. So let me say this. So I don't have any problem with Luke Gallows or John Schuyler working the show, because how do they make their living? They make their living with pro wrestling, right?
Yep.
How can I begrudge anyone for taking any booking to make their living, right?
Sure.
But then when you have someone who does not make their living at pro wrestling, and you have helped them and you have paid them and helped them go to Japan and go to England and buy gear and all these things, and they don't see any problem with it. With working both shows. Mm-hmm. Well, you remember how you were brought up in wrestling, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And you were brought up to where if, like, when Cowboy ran Greenwood, or Cowboy ran Clinton or Lawrence, would you have worked for somebody else trying to come in and run the same thing?
I guess it would, and I want to play devil's advocate a little bit here, Thomas. The only question that comes to my mind, and again, just playing devil's advocate, if you're not holding somebody under contract, how can you hold them to that standard? Because this.
You are right. You are right. Let me just say, I would think it would be friendship and respect.
Okay, and I respect that, but again,
and we do not, and you and I both know because we talked about it. We don't have enough of that.
I agree. No,
we used to have, like we used to have, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
But I'm going to say this: so instead, you're going to worry about getting a $50 booking for coming to Abbeville, but you done lost thousands of dollars by offending your big money mark.
Well,
I'll go ahead and just put that out there, right?
Yeah.
Now that's stupid.
Well,
either I don't know whether it's dumb or it's stupid. Dumb is you don't know any better. Yeah. Stupid, you know better, but you do the wrong thing anyway.
Well, but let me again playing that devil's advocate. Let me push back a little bit.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me just push back. Me. I know, and I know we can talk like this, and nobody's going to get their little panties hurt. But let me push back a little bit and just say that in this day and age, Thomas, we're not in the old school ways no more. We're in. It's all about me, money, money, money. Me, money, money, money. Hold on.
But isn't that why we're here bitching about how fucked up it is?
Well, there's some logic to that too. But again,
okay. I mean that's all there is, and
I get it. I get it. But at the same time,
and that's fine. And that's fine if they want to do that. That is fine with me. But the beautiful thing is that I can make my decisions.
You absolutely can.
On who I am and am not going to book, who I am and am not going to give my money to, right?
100%. 100%.
Okay.
And nobody's going to tell anybody how, especially you, because I've known you a long time. Nobody's going to tell you how to spend your money. I get that.
Okay, that's fine. You enjoy your show in Abbeville. But working for me, there will be no chance of that ever happening again.
So you're saying, right? So you're saying that bridge is unreparably burnt. That's what you're saying.
I didn't burn it. I blew that motherfucker up.
All right, watch it. We're out there in the world.
Okay, I blew it up.
Tone it down a little bit.
I blew it up, man. I did. I blew it up. When I blew up a bridge,
I know.
I block you on all my social media. I delete you out my phone. I hit the block on my phone. I mean,
yeah.
So it's done.
No, I get it, and I know. I will say this, and I say this all the time. I don't have to defend you. I don't have you. You do a good job of that on your own. But I get the loyalty thing, and that's why. I bring again. I got to always bring it back around to me, right? Because it's all about me. But that's why I have some heat with some people to this day over something that happened 10 years ago. Simply because
who you're talking about, and they got and that person has heat with me now because of what I said the last time I was on here.
Right, exactly. But I have heat, because of something happened 10 years ago. Because I felt like that he was not loyal to me when I gave you one of the bigger platforms you've ever worked on. As because you were my friend, right? And so I get the whole loyalty thing. I do.
Yes.
I get it. But the only pushback I'll give you about this is if there's money to be made, no matter if it's $50, $500, $5,000, $5 million, do you not agree with me that go get your money, kid? Go get your money.
Go get it, but you ain't getting mine anymore.
Okay.
I mean, would you rather get $50 for that, or would you rather come and work for me and get the $250 I was talking about giving you the night you worked for me? Which one would you want, Ricky?
Well, no question there. I'm going to go where the bucks are. I just, I don't like to see, especially in this day and age, I don't like to see, the people still losing, friends and what they thought were friends over this goofy ass
Now,
business.
that last sentence you said, what they thought were friends, right?
Yeah.
What they thought, because I'll tell anybody. Do you think that Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy or Shannon Moore or Shane Helms or Champagne Marty Garner or Trevor Lee or any of these people, my people from Omega, do you think any of them would come and work a show in Abbeville that I wasn't running?
I doubt that they would. I
know they would.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this before we move on from the Abbeville stuff. Was there ever a proffer of an offer for you and Hoss to work together on that show?
Absolutely none.
Okay. So
he never got in touch with me. He never did it. He said something on here about. He initially said something, and then at the very end of it, he said something about us not being able to work together. Well, the reason he was not, I would have worked with him, okay? But I would have wanted some concessions.
Okay.
I mean, if it was going to be in Abbeville, it would be a hard press to work with Bob Keller. It would be Smashley. Her graphics are the absolute worst. I would want my own people to do the graphics. And there are some people that are Keller guys, as he calls them, that I would not want on the show that I was helping. I was busting hump to book. Because I asked my cousin, I said, how are they going to pay for this show? Because Andy told the Civic Center and the city council and stuff that the ball field would get 100% of the proceeds from the show.
Okay.
Now he lives in Maryland, and I asked my cousin. I said, "So, how is he going to pay for the? So if you're giving away all of the gate, how's he going to pay for the wrestlers? I know the city's going to give them the building, right?
Do they have sponsors?
Just like they were me. But how is he going to pay for the wrestlers?
Do they have sponsors?
Not that I have heard of.
Yeah.
I have seen some graphics online and stuff, and I have not seen other than WZLA radio station.
Well, radio station ain't got no money.
The city, who the city councilman that he talked to that owns the radio station did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I did talk to the city council. I said, I don't want to hear that my name was ever mentioned on any of the promos or anybody talking about that show. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I better not hear my name being mentioned.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything to do with it. And I can promise you I will not be in Abbeville, South Carolina on August the 2nd, at least not at 4:00 in the afternoon. And now let's just go there. All right. You want to talk about stupid.
Oh my.
Now, Ricky, and I was just thinking about the first time I ever went to an independent wrestling show on a Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where that was?
No idea.
It was at the National Guard Armory in Greenwood, South Carolina.
Okay.
Guess who I saw on that show that impressed me? The only people that impressed me.
Tell me.
That might have been the House of Pain.
I'm vaguely familiar with that. Vaguely familiar with them. I heard they were good in their day.
Yeah, and I think they wrestled maybe Cowboy and Jake Mulligan, maybe.
What?
or Jake Mulligan and Max Miles.
It was either one of those combinations, or I remember one time over in Greenwood at we wrestled Gaylord and Dom. It wasn't Gaylord and Dom.
No, it wasn't. No. I don't think they were on the show that day because, of course, I knew Lance as for those of you that don't know, I knew Lance Gaylord before anybody else.
Yeah.
I knew Lance Gaylord before he was Lance Gaylord.
Right. Randy,
So Randy, yeah. So no, I would have known it was Randy. Okay. But it was.
I know we.
But I don't think I ever saw that match.
Yeah,
I did see them.
Go ahead.
In Abbeville one time. I did see them wrestling Abbeville. Of course, I saw you wrestling Abbeville, but you were in the pink tights.
That's right. We're in the pink tights.
Yeah.
Scotty, go ahead.
So I don't know how they're gonna pay for it because they got this thing at doors open at 4. It starts at 5 on the August 2nd, which is the tax-free weekend. And I tried to run that back 10 years ago, and it didn't. It drew about half of what I had drawn in January. And the tickets are $20 for Ringside.
Ringside, okay. What's general? I don't even know. Is general what 10?
10. So I posted something on Facebook the other day. I can promise you, unless the headliners on my car are named Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
There is no in Abbeville, South Carolina, there's absolutely positively no way I would ever charge over $10 for a ticket. Ever.
Yeah.
I don't care who else I had on the show.
Yeah.
But I would never charge more than $10 for a ticket. And that is my personal feeling, okay?
Yeah.
Because I want everybody to be able to come to the show. And $10 is about what it costs. Now, if you want to come over here to Greenwood, come over here in Greenwood to see a movie. A matinee movie actually costs $10 now.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
So I always tried to keep the price under a matinee movie, or around the cost of a matinee movie. And so again, for the sake of the ball field, which is actually you can see the lights from my parents' house. But from where I grew up, but I would wish, I hope they can to make some money, but I'm not gonna give them my money. And then on top of it, I had heard my cousin that I had trained to wrestle. He was gonna wrestle on it.
Yeah.
And this is a generational thing because these people do not see a problem. And he's like mid-20s, kind of like Chase is. They don't see a problem in biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
And pays for your stuff and everything. Well, the bad thing is this hand
closes into a fist.
this hand closes up and it's ready to punch you in the face. Again, and I know it's a generational thing and whatever, right. And that's why I'm not booking a bunch of bums. I'm not booking a bunch of rotten people that want that they are just out there whores. Whores, as my grandmama would say, that they just want money, and I'm just not going to do it, right? And besides, it's not like I am locked in to have it. I was just thinking the other day about ultra wrestling stuff, and because of Hoss, there were some people I had to book on the show back then that I probably would not have booked had I not had him there and he wanted some of his friends there to have fun with in the locker room and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So no, this time I owe no one anything. I'm just looking for new talent, good talent. And, but I'm gonna have my stooges there making a list of everybody who works the show in Edville and I already got a couple of them and writing them down to who I won't be booking, right? except Skylar and Gallows, right? I can't begrudge anyone making a living because I know you ain't gonna make a living off of a wrestling show unless you're a name, and you sure ain't gonna do it even for Bob Keller because I know they're doing it as they're taking they're probably losing money coming to work for Bob Keller, but that's their mentor, guide, whatever you call it. But
so let me ask you this. That's
what I got to say about Bob.
Well, let me ask you this again, playing devil's advocate. And before I do, Scotty Wentz says loyalty is a lost art. Loyalty nowadays is predicated on the almighty dollar, and there's a lot of truth to that. But one more devil's advocate question about what we're talking about. Do you just for clarification, you believe that the loyalty to you and what you represent as far as what you put out there and what you produce and what you promote is more important than the event that they're putting on for the charity that they're putting it on for? Is that what you're saying?
Because I know I could have raised more money.
Okay, that's fair.
Seriously, I could have raised more. I could have raised a hell of a lot more money for that.
That's fair.
For that, I know I could have. Yes, I could have raised more money. Like I said, I don't. That's fine. I told you. I hope.
Yeah.
It actually draws something, right?
Yes, you did.
For the sake of the ball field stuff, but
you did.
They ain't getting my money.
Yeah, you did say that.
They ain't getting my money for the show. They ain't getting my money for the ball field either.
Let me ask you this. One more question about that. Do you think they've done a good job so far promoting it?
Hell no.
Tell me why.
They hadn't promoted it. They haven't. They put the Benji that runs the radio station. He's put a flyer out there, 2 flyers out there.
Okay.
I think Halls has put a couple of flyers out there. There's no promotion about it. Nobody in Abbeville knows that there's going to be a wrestling show.
Is that
yet?
Have they put? Are the posters in town? Have they put posters in town?
Oh,
they have not.
But then again, it's still over a month away, almost a month and a half away.
Right.
But no, they haven't done anything.
Do you think the card? Let me rephrase it. Do you think the card that they put together is interesting?
They haven't posted a card yet.
Okay.
They just posted a list of names on the card.
Okay.
So they have David Cruz, who apparently works for TNA. Not TNA, AEW. I don't even know who he is. Luke Gallows.
Yep.
They have John Schuyler.
Yep.
Chase Emery. Zuka King. Christopher Prince. Fat Vallow, the Banny Rooster. I forgot who else. Hold on. Let me look at this. I got it somewhere here.
They announced another person last Thursday. I missed the announcement. I don't know who the latest person they've added to that card was. So I'm not sure.
They haven't posted the card yet. Zuka King. So 3 days ago, they said Zuka King headlocks for home runs. Cam Jackson, the WrestleForce heavyweight champion. No, Savannah Evans. And I don't know, maybe she's gone. I don't know if they're gonna bring. No telling who. What they people want to see a woman wrestler. They see it now. Okay, Chase Emery, the blue chipper, and then I see on Fat Vallow. Oh, let's see. Oh no, that's the wrong show. That's Chester. Who will be next? I don't know. Ken Dixon. So this is now you want to talk about stupid. So nobody. I mean, Ken Dixon's a fine wrestler, but he's from Maryland.
Yeah.
Why would you pay somebody to come from Maryland that nobody knows who they are? And they're going to think he's bald-headed with this beard shirt. They're going to think he's Ginger Billy. Shout out to Adam Parkins, my buddy, Ginger Billy. I have him in Abbeville on my show, right?
Yeah.
But so they got the Human Tire Fire and former NCAA World Champion. Nobody knows what MCW is. Yeah. So what's Ken Dixon going to draw in Abbeville? Nada. And then let's see. Let's come on down here looking. And it's Russell Winner's Choice Battle Royal. Well, they want big people that want to see a battle royal. They ought to be happy. I don't know what they're going to be looking like. And then they have also announced, well, there's John Schuyler, which I mean, we need the great hand, the Southern Savior, John Schuyler, which I tell you, and then Nathan Cruz on Ricky Regal podcast. Nathan Cruz is our next guest, August 2nd, as announced earlier today. So I don't even know who Nathan Cruz is.
He was announced on
Doc Gallows.
He was announced on my podcast.
I know who he is. Yeah.
When Hoss was on it, did okay? I got you.
And then he's got the and of course Doc Gallows. But again, I don't. There's nobody on here other than Schuyler and Gallows that's done anything. And I mean, and just nothing. And I was just going to do a nice, simple show. Just and I mean, of course, it's as usual. It's overbooked twaddle. It is. It's over. It's absolutely overbooked. I'm sure it's going to be overbooked twaddle. They can't say no to anybody. And now, and I used to be like that, but now my favorite word in wrestling is no.
No.
But I mean,
that's a good word. That's a good word.
Yes, it'll save you a lot of money.
It will save you a lot.
It is.
A lot of aggravation too.
But it's. I don't. That's fine. Like I said, I hope it draws. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon, and I mean, Abbeville's a small southern town, so I don't know what it's going to do. But I can promise you, will it draw more than what Thomas Simpson would have? Hell no. No, they will not draw as much as I would have. Now, I can tell you that come January of 2027,
yes,
I have already started lining up the single biggest wrestling show that I will have probably ever put on. And it'll definitely be the biggest one in this area as a fundraiser. Not in Abbeville, because Abbeville has nowhere big enough to fit enough people to see Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And here's another little surprise for everybody. So I am going to be at the Gathering in Charlotte.
Okay.
I had told people I would not be back to one, but I am going to be there at the Gathering in July for a couple of days at least to finalize everything with Matt and Jeff and get some things rolling on the ball for my show. It will be in 6 months, right?
Yep.
Because I am a planner, just like you when you ran the Toys for Tots show. You started planning almost the year before, right?
Yeah.
So that is what I'm going to be doing. But I just want to prove, and eventually I will run something in Abbeville, more than likely with the Hardys, but it'll probably have to be at the football stadium.
Yeah.
Or the high school gym that can fit more people.
Where
because they've redone the Civic Center, and the Civic Center really can't fit more than 250 people.
Yeah, that was a small building that I remember working in it years and years ago.
It used to be not be. I mean, you can get 500. You used to get 500 in there, but now they have taken out the bleachers and put new ones in that aren't as the old school bleachers, and they're really more ADA compliant.
Gotcha.
And they've got a limit on it, so I don't know how much money they think they're going to make off of this thing.
Where are you?
I just think it's that.
Where are you looking?
But I will not be. I will not be at it. I can tell you.
Where are you looking at running in January? Have you decided yet?
A high school near here.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not saying too much because literally after I figured I was going to run there. I was supposed to run there in May at this high school, and Matt and Jeff's schedule just couldn't work it out. They had to go to Alabama for a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And so they just couldn't do both.
I understand.
But yeah, there's some high schools around here that have some very large gymnasiums.
That's true. High schools have become
see the thousand,
yeah.
like you see the 1,000 people. That you can, the capacity is like 1,000 people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
high schools.
think,
go ahead.
Huh?
I was just going to say high schools are the way to go. Yeah.
Yes, and they are motivated and they're interested, and literally the 5 minutes after I canceled my show in Abbeville, I called my connection at this other school, and who I was going to run with in May, and I said, "Hey, here I got this for you."
Yeah,
and they are 100% on board. So, like I said, 2027. I'm trying to be out of wrestling. I mean, I say I want to be out of wrestling by the time I'm 60. Because actually, so this week I met with. I'm a state employee, so I met with the Empower people and I met with the People people this week.
The People people are a blessing. Let me just tell you, they are a blessing.
Well, I met with the people. Well, I found out if I want the maximum amount of money, I have got another 4 years and change.
Yeah.
To work.
Yep.
So we'll see how it goes as far as the wrestling goes. But I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something different, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, if you're working these outlaw mud shows and around here, I really don't want. I want quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
Because I know that this show in Abbeville, they're going to have like the Battle Royal and stuff and all these things.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be, and I know my show would have been, I'd have had 4 matches and they would have been outstanding.
Well,
I had 4 matches.
Yeah.
An intermission and a main event, and it would have been outstanding. But
well, I will tell you, as one of the many things I learned when I was running the Christmas shows is less is more. Less is one. That is you know how it is when especially when I was coming up, that you would go sometimes these 3.5 hour freaking shows, and when you were on them and you were young, you thought, oh, this is great, it's we're look at what we're doing, but as it's awful. It's awful for the fan. It might be fun for the boys in the back sitting around jiving all day, but the fans are suffering, and we know. You're in a building,
and the promoter suffers too. And so the only time I ever used to complain to Matt Hardy, the only thing I ever complained about was the length of the shows.
Yeah.
In our 30 years working together was the length of shows he booked.
Yes.
I'm like, brother, please.
It becomes arduous, and it becomes like this is a chore. And I know it's like, well, they're getting, you want to get the people their money's worth. If you leave them wanting more, and if you leave them, on the edge of their seats and so excited when they walk out that door, then you've given them more. But just
right, I totally agree. I agree. You don't have to.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about I know some people, they have to book their friends and book this person and that person and everything. That's why I don't want any more friends.
We started that. We started that Christmas. I'm just remembering we started that Christmas thing, and our shows when we first began in 2008, when I took them over, those shows would run little north of 3 hours. By the time we were done, 10 years later, that thing was 2 hours in and out. Bing, bang, boom, done. And it was smooth, and it was like clockwork, but because you learn lessons. But that one, it was a big one, and I think anybody who's trying to promote or trying to get into the game, that's one that you need to know going in the door, because that will save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache, and a lot of aggravation for sure.
I have a question for you. Can I have a question for you?
Please.
I see your Star Wars shirt.
Yeah, in honor of you, I got. Let me get up here in the camera. In honor of you, I got on my Sith shirt today. I don't know if you can see. It's got Vader and it's got Maul there, and
Darth Maul.
Yeah, I'm a Maul mark. I love Maul.
Who else is on there? Hey, who else is on there? Darth Maul, Vader, Kylo Ren,
and General Grievous is on there. Yeah, that's a dark side. But in honor of you, I wore my Sith dark side shirt today, so I wanted to. That was a little shout to you.
I appreciate it.
The chat rooms are wide open, and let me tell you, it has gone stone silent. So either they've all left us, or they're in wrapped. Their attention is wrapped to it. But if there's any comments or anybody wants to ask Thomas anything before we get him out of here, now's the time to do it. We've been going a long time, but you know, I think it was interesting. I appreciate you answering my questions, because I'm sure were Hoss here, he would probably have some of those same questions for you. So, you know, I think it's interesting. I think you have a take on it that is interesting, and I think I wish them the best. I hope they succeed, and I hope they draw a house. And I hope
it does. I hope it does well, but they have already made mistakes. They've already made mistakes that if I were sitting there talking to them, I would have said, "This is a mistake."
Well,
these are mistakes. But you can't. Some people you can't tell anything to.
Yeah. No,
but like I said, disloyalty. After I have been putting food on your table,
yeah,
and carrying you in my car, and doing that. No, I guess that is the old school guy in me.
Yeah, I get it.
And
I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But you know, I hope they do well. I hope they make a lot of money for the charity, and nobody gets hurt, and everybody has.
I'll be making more money for my charities. I run shows for. I can promise you that.
I hear you, and I know that you will do everything in your power to do just that. What else before we get you out of here? Anything? Got anything? Last final thoughts?
Really, I told you I was going to do the gathering up in Charlotte. The Hardys are going to be there.
Yep.
For the first time ever, and I'm going for just a couple of days. I got a good friend of mine, Johnny Martello, from Pittsburgh. He's the biggest Hardy fan on earth, and I want to go hang out with him. My buddy Landon Linville from Winston-Salem, he's going to come down and hang out some. So I missed it last year. Did I go the year before last? Maybe I went year before last, and I just kind of missed seeing some of my friends, but I'm just going to buy things a la carte this time. I just want to go into the vendor's room and stuff like that, and see things. I don't know if there's anybody I need to get my Midnight Express scrapbook signed by, but there's some interesting folks that I think are going to be there, and I'm looking forward to seeing. And again, and plus I know Beth and the girls are coming to Charlotte.
Yeah.
So I will spend a lot of time with them when I'm not, like, I guess I'll probably go and do the run around the vendor's room and stuff, and then when Beth and the girls get up, I'll go and hang out. And we'll go off and do something, right?
Yeah.
I found as the older you get, and your friendships are really the most special thing that you have, and I hope that I like spending time with my friends. It's just like going when I went up to see Cruiser laid up in the hospital.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would. It's you can't buy your. Well, you can sometimes buy your friends, but that ain't worthless. It's worthless. Okay. They don't. It don't take, brother. Okay.
You don't get a return on it. You don't get a return on your investment, is what they might say.
No, the ROI is not good on buying your friends, especially not in wrestling.
That's
right?
exactly. That's right.
No,
that's right.
I mean, but then there's people that are your friends that you're friends with forever.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
Well, anything else you got going on? No, if y'all want, if you want to wrestle again, I know you're just talking out your ass, but I mean,
me. I would never do that.
I mean, if you want to, well, it's weird that Cruiser and I had actually, when I was up visiting him and Deb at the hospital, I was like, have you thought about doing like a retirement match or something at some point? Because I'm thinking about my own retirement, right?
Sure. Yeah.
My wrestling retirement, wrestling retirement at this point now. Wrestling retirement, and also maybe doing something when I do an Andyville show, doing something in the ring.
Yeah.
So I and he was like, I don't know if there's anybody I'd want to put over like that. I had to like that answer.
That's a good answer.
That's a great answer.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Of course, and before you ask me, do I have an idea of what I would want to do for a retirement match? Yes, I do. So mine would be a 6-man tag.
Yeah.
It would be me and one of my closest friends and mentors in wrestling, Double J Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
And Satnam Singh, who's like 7'5", big guy.
I've seen him.
Nicest guy on earth.
I've seen him.
And me, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal, huh? And yes, me, Jeff, and Satnam, and probably Karen Jarrett as the manager, right? Because she's just a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Against the other 3 people, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Maybe Jay Lethal, because they're all in together and stuff. Maybe Jay and a couple of other guys. But that would be fun. And I would if I could get on the other side as the manager, it'd be like Vicky Guerrero.
Oh yeah,
I'm a big, huge Vicky Guerrero fan, but I don't know if she even does manage anymore. That's kind of like one of the bucket list people I've never worked with.
Yeah.
And I loved seeing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, because I've pretty much worked with everyone. I might get like on the other side, maybe Ken Anderson.
Yo, yeah. That would be
King
awesome.
Kennedy. I love him. We still keep in touch. Even today, I mean, it's wonder. He'd be awesome. So I got ideas. I've still got great. That would be a fun idea. I don't know how good that match would be. I don't know how good the match would be. If I stayed out of the ring, the match would be real good, right? So, as long as I'm out of the ring, I might let Ken. You know what? I might get Cody Angle. He might can take my place.
Oh yeah.
Karen's son, so their son. So I might get Cody now.
That'd be awesome. Well, look, man, I appreciate you coming on. It's always fun when you're on, and it's always news making when you come on. And I appreciate you doing it. We'll do it again.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how much butthurt there is out of here today.
Well, we'll see. That'll come in the future. But I think you were fair, and I think you were fair, and especially in answering the pushback questions I gave you, because again, I mean, you got reasons, and you got your loyalty, and I get it. I understand that, and I know it's certainly a dying thing. But thank you again,
just
Thomas.
Remember this.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's just like Jimmy Jam Garvin said, it's not my fault.
Ain't my fault. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Jimmy Jam, he is a free bird. There's a question going around if he's a real free bird or not. Jimmy Jam is a free bird. He qualified.
You know why, don't you?
Why?
You know why?
No, I don't.
Because he drank like the rest of them.
I know there's been some
controversy. And Michael Hayes says that he's another reason I want to go to the gathering thing, because Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin are going to be there.
Yeah, I would love to just go see those two, because Garvin was another one of my heroes. Thomas, I'm going to get you out of here. We've been going a long time. I do appreciate it again. I'll get you on again in the future.
Thank you.
And I do appreciate it. And thank you again. The always controversial Thomas Simpson joining us today. I do appreciate him for his time. Went a little bit longer than I thought we were going to go, but that's okay. That was good. That was a good conversation. I hope it was interesting to those of you who are familiar and aware of what's going on in this area. And big ups to Thomas for coming in and telling his side of it and answering those kind of tough questions I threw at him. So we'll see where that goes. Again, look, I got no problem with anybody. This platform's open for everybody. You are most welcome to come here and tell your story and tell your side of your story and get it out there to the world. This is a platform for everyone. And this show really is for everybody, because well, if you qualify in my humble opinion as a wrestler and connected to the business in a meaningful way, then yes, you are most welcome to come on here and tell your story and your side of whatever story may be out there in the world. Quick break. Going a long time today. This is a long one. We're almost an hour and 40 minutes in, so going to take a quick break. Come right back, do our most ridiculous item of the day, and then we're going to get the heck out of here. I appreciate everybody who's hung out with us today, and we'll do it again hopefully next week. I have an interview that I'll tell you about when we close the show that I'm supposed to do a little bit later this week that will shock some of you, will blow some of your minds, especially if you've been keeping up with stuff in this area. But we'll talk about that after the jump right here on episode 13 of Regalwood Rasslin. Stand by. All right, back here on Regalwood Rasslin, episode 13, number 13, here on the Big Program. I'm your host, Ricky Regal. That was another big-time interview with the always controversial Thomas Simpson. Look, man, everybody is entitled to their opinion and their way of thinking and their idea of what loyalty means to them. I have mine. And of course, everybody is entitled to their own. Some people have intimated to me that maybe I'm holding on to some grudges for a little too long. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, but for your actions, there would not be any of those grudges held, right? And until you take responsibility for your part in that thing that may or may not have happened, we got nothing to discuss. You got to take some ownership. You got to own what you do. And don't say it behind, well, this is just business. Don't say it behind, well, what about this person? So I get it. I get it. And I understand it. And that's all I can say about that. Whatever the dynamic is between Thomas and Hall, so I hope that bridge can be mended at some point. Thomas says it's blown up, but we've all said that. Thomas and I had such vicious heat at one point, and one day we'll tell that whole saga. But he and I had vicious heat at one point where I thought we would never be able to be in the same county together, much less work together. And we ended up working together successfully. So, look, this is wrestling. This business is so up and down, back and forth. We hate each other one day and we love each other the next. So who knows what's in the future? I hope it works out for everybody involved. I do wish they could have come together and done it together, but you know, that wasn't meant to be this time. I still hope nothing. I hope they do a successful event. I hope every event that is for the right reasons is successful, right? And I hope they do. I hope they do well over there, and I think they will. I think they will. All right, I've been yammering for almost 2 hours. We're gonna do this most ridiculous item of the week, and then we're gonna boogie down. I'm scheduled right now for next Thursday. I will make a guest announcement this coming week that if this interview goes off, it will be it'll be something that will. It's shocking me that the guy's even saying that he'll do it. That's how interesting this thing can turn out to be if it comes off. And once that thing's in the can, I will make an announcement to make sure that you all know what's coming, and you will make plans. And you probably want to make plans to be with me for that show. Right now, that's what I'm looking at for next Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on all of the platforms that you're currently seeing me on today. Those are my dogs, the UPS guys here, and you know, they gotta let them know that they are running this joint. All right, most ridiculous. Let me tell you something. Earlier in the show, I was talking about the Tully thing and talking about it 30 years later. And I've never been a fan of Necro Butcher. Some of you may be. I never got him. I never thought he was that great. Anybody can sit in there and hit each other with things, and there be no psychology to it. Any fool can do that. I thought he had gone away. I didn't know he was still around. I figured he was dead by now, honestly. But he's still out there. Necro Butcher, still out there. He was in that Mickey Rourke wrestler movie. He was in that. So he's still out there, apparently. And this week's most ridiculous features none other than the Necro Butcher. I was never a fan of his. I don't respect what he does. And I used to work hardcore matches. Right? But I would always make sure that the match made sense. There was a reason to do it, and there was psychology. What you're about to see makes no sense. And I will tell you, because it involves Necro Butcher, it is gory. But ask yourself, why? What are we gaining? What are you adding to this business by doing what you're about to see? It doesn't need any more setup. Let's get to it. I want you to see this. It's a minute and a half, but I swear to you, it seems like it goes on for an hour. It's nonsense. This comes to us from somebody on Facebook, Lee Murphy Moltisanti. I want to give them their credits for me stealing this off their page. Lee Murphy Moltisanti, if you want to follow him, look him up there on Facebook. But this is Necro Butcher versus Buddy Badcock versus Satu Jin. I don't know when this happened. I don't know where it happened. Maybe there's more info here. No, there's not. There's just a bunch of hashtags. Apparently it comes to you from IWA Deep South. I don't know IWA Deep South. I guess it's somewhere in the Deep South. But this is where we are in 2026, and for better or for worse, the Necro Butcher is still out there, necro butching. Watch this with me, shall we? Let me get myself out of the way.
I can think of 1,000 good time than when these got like a double team. My God! You're nuggy. You're not shit. Wait a minute. Turn into a tough man contest. Trying to get his bearings here. Trying to second. Look it. Do you know thumbtacks? Oh,
thumbtacks on the baseball bat there. Thumbtacks in the back. One to the head.
Look at that. Oh, look out. Oh my God. Grab the rib cage. Oh no. The chair. The scoop up again. Oh, IWA. Look out. Oh my God. Look out. It looks like a butcher.
What? Why?
Look at that. Why? Oh, match to all three of these guys. Oh my goodness. Look out now. Oh, look at that shit. Where should I go? In the ring? No, I'm going right after the legend. Great ring awareness by the referee, too, by the way. I gotta say, wait a minute! Look at these shots. Look at these. You better get the fuck out of the way. And now he's slamming him. He's gonna slam him on the
Slam on the chair on the outside. Now these are syringes.
Wait, look out! Oh no! Oh my God! God almighty! Oh no!
Uncapped syringes. Sure, they're clean.
Oh no! Oh no! Suplex! No, those teeth got me hitting each other.
And then it starts over. What do you say about that? Other than why? It was in McKenzie, Tennessee. Why? What are you adding? What? Did you see the fans? They're outside. I don't even think there was a ring. Was there a ring? I don't even think there was a ring. I think they were doing that nonsense on the ground on a tarp, which is a whole other set of complications. But what? It's so stupid. You ain't hitting me with no string. I don't care what you paying me. And I don't know by the looks of that they're getting paid much of anything. What does that add to this sport, to this business? What does it, other than, ooh. That's Necro Butcher. He's still around. Somehow. That's ridiculous. I don't know what else I can say about it. That is the most ridiculous thing I've seen this month, much less this week. I don't know what you say about it. I mean, there's nothing needs to be said other than, God bless for surviving as long as you have, Necro. All right. That's going to do it for this one. Thank y'all. I appreciate those of you who hung out. I appreciate those of you who joined me today. Good conversation today. My rant at the beginning of the show was classic Regal. If you missed that, this will be on replay shortly after we go off the air here. It will be in perpetuity on the Wrestle Radio 860 YouTube channel. Wrestle Radio 860 on YouTube. That's the channel of all things Regal. Twitch, Regalwood6969. Facebook, of course, Ricky Regal, RIKKI, REGAL. Rumble and Kick, of course. This guy here is Regalwood, and that's, you find him, you found the right spot. Thanks again for everybody who joined me today. Thanks for everybody who participated in the chat. If you see this now or in the future, leave us a like. It don't cost you a dime. I'll never ask you for a dime. Leave us a like. Subscribe to the channels. Give us a comment. It all helps me get out into the algorithm of people who are like-minded like us, who like this kind of discussion, and who like my particular brand of nonsense. It just helps me get out there for other people can see us. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. If nothing else, just a quick comment on just you suck. It's fine. I'll take it. And like that Facebook page, the Regalwood Rasslin Facebook page. It's linked to my Ricky Regal page. Give that a follow, and for all the latest updates and show announcements. And read that Metro column if you're so inclined to do so. Thanks again to everybody who joined me today. Thanks to my guest, Thomas Simpson. And I will make that big guest announcement coming up hopefully this week. We'll see. But until all of that comes back and comes back around, I will see you down the road.